So ALUN WYN returns. Huge news. Now, I was pretty happy for a couple of reasons. Not only do we get a high quality player back, the captain back on tour, but I also had the pun for the thumbnail lined up. But anyway, he's the most respected player on the tour for the Lions. He played a good Six Nations. He earned his place, I believe, on the tour. Others thought he didn't. And also, for Warren Gatland, he's paid for. I know it's cynical, but it always comes down to money a little bit. Warren Gatland's already paid for him, or the Lions board's already paid for him, so he's a free player. So you wouldn't say no anyway. Warren Gatland looks like he's managed to wangle Roland Kelleher coming out. He managed to wangle a 37th player as well. So he's actually got kind of 3 extra players anyway. So that's great news. However, it does make things a little bit more tricky, because if he's the captain, is there then a little extra pressure for him to play in the first test, or any of the tests, to be honest? Surely he's going to play on Saturday. That's an absolute given for me. He has to play on Saturday most of the game to prove his fitness and get some fitness, and also get into the method of playing, because he only played a few minutes of that warm-up game, so he is behind the 8 ball. He needs to catch up as well. I'm sure he will. He'll be in the mix for selection. I'm sure Warren Gatland will make the decision that's right for the team, but it makes it a little bit more complicated. But really, the only big risk is if his shoulder goes again. Now, he's a great player. I'm sure he'll do a great job if he's in the test team, but as we all know, the shoulder's a very shallow socket, very shallow ball and socket, and is held in with soft tissues mainly. When you dislocate the shoulder, you damage the soft tissues. They're a lot looser. Now, what professionals tend to do these days is, rather than faff around with just rehabbing and hope it's strong enough, they tend to have it tightened up or some sort of surgery to help with that rehab as well. ALUN WYN hasn't had that, and he also hasn't had much time to rehab. So it is a higher risk. We don't know how. We don't know how he's going to go. He could be fine, but it is a higher risk. If you start him, because he's probably more likely to start than to be on a bench. He's not really that impact bench player. He also hasn't got the versatility of Laws or Byrne on the bench, so it might force you to go for a 6-2 split if you didn't want to. And if his shoulder goes in the first few minutes or the first half, it kind of stuffs you up potentially. So it's amazing to have him back. So happy for him. It would have been awful for him to end his Lions journey like that. It gives Gatland an extra player. But in terms of actually playing him, it's not that straightforward. Anyway, guys, love to know your thoughts on this big news, and I will catch you next time.